Hey, yo, Chico. Shout out Scott Hall. Welcome to the Platinum Wrench. The only wrench that ever was. Does come with one hell of a stench, though. Before we get started, I've got some news to break. I tried another Donaire spot today, Sage. Tried out another Donaire spot. And I would say the veggies were fresher. Fresher veggies. Meat, very similar. Wasn't much of a difference. and the Donair sauce thicker, much more pungent, a better flavor. So this is currently the best Donair around here. Would go to Charlie's Pizza. That's shout out to Charlie's Pizza. Now two Papas. I tried their Donair a week ago, and it kind of tasted like dirt. So I'm not saying the rest of their food's bad or anything like that, but Two Papas didn't get the job done. Charlie's Pizza did. Very impressed with their performance. Not as impressed with their fish and chips though. But I'm just saying, it was a good Donair, Sage. I thought you'd appreciate a good little Donair story there. Air Donair. Anyways, we've got a little bit of baseball to go over. Not much. That's kind of why we didn't do the stream last night because A, we'd be starting late. B, it's kind of the slow season right now. I believe the Raptors have lost 4 out of 5, so they're still doing good overall, but not good lately. There was a trade where the Pirates acquired Jost Nixon Garcia, outfielder, right-handed pitcher Jesus Treviso from the Red Sox in exchange for John Aviato, Tyler Samanago, Adonis Guzman. Um, The only notable of the trade apparently is Garcia, who was blocked out from the Red Sox outfield, so he potentially could get a chance to start. I don't think he's going to be like a fancy guy. He is considered toolsy though, so potentially a guy that could help you out, in late rounds or free agency, that sort of thing. So just the only notable trade that was made in baseball. In terms of the Blue Jays, they did option Uriel Rodriguez to the minor leagues. He went unclaimed, so he's still with the Blue Jays, that sort of thing, because he does have, I think, 17 million over 3 years left owing. He was instrumental last year for the Jays bullpen. Not as good down the stretch, but he did have like a 3.08 ERA in the first half. So I suspect he'll be back up on the roster at some point next year, probably early in the year. In terms of other news, I don't know. I just saw it on Roto World, something about, I guess, Justin Herbert is questionable. Jaden Reed is going to return for the Packers tomorrow. It looks like Marquez Valdez Scantling, who was on the practice squad for Pittsburgh, will be elevated to the team tomorrow. O'Marion Hampton is slated to return this week. Diana Rossini is reporting that the Cardinals could move off of Kyler Murray this offseason. Anyone could have reported that. Anyone could have reported that. It doesn't matter. It's just connecting dots. Yeah, could happen. He could come back. There's my second article. It's just not very good journalism, if you ask me. Looks like Rome Adunze is not going to play tomorrow against the Packers. Needs some rest. And Max Crosby looks like he's questionable, but slated to play this week as well. So that is all we have for that portion. Baseball's been covered. Nothing else to really cover. Let's go over the game that we missed to cover last night. That being the Detroit Lions hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I don't know. A lot of people seem upset at George Pickens for the game. I don't know. I think they're blaming the interceptions on him. I have no idea if it was his fault or not on those. Dak Prescott did throw for almost 400 yards. He did throw 2 picks, though, with only one touchdown in there. Javonte Williams wasn't overly great. Did score a touchdown, so good for the fantasy owners out there. 67 yards on 17 carries. Their kicker, really kept him in the game. I think he had 2 kicks over 60 yards. And I think the other kicks were pretty fucking long as well. So Brandon Aubrey accounted for 16 of the 30 Dallas points. It just felt like Detroit was in control, in my opinion. I did have the game on, was listening to it. It just seemed like they were one step ahead. Dallas kept it close, and it was a pretty close game till, about the end there. 44-30. It was pretty much a one-score game at all times, but it was just one of those games where sometimes you have a one-score game and you just kind of know that the other team's just going to answer, and that's what they did. Jared Goff, 309 yards with a touchdown, 9.1 average, so that's pretty good, and he wasn't really throwing that far down the field either. David Montgomery, 6 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, not really great day rushing in terms of yardage. 43 on 16 on 12 carries. Did have 3 touchdowns. That's going to be big for fantasy. Jameson Williams seemed to be the best player. 7 catches, 96 yards. Obviously, the touchdowns went to other guys. Amon-Ra St. Brown also had a good game. 6 receptions, 92 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, though, receiving 7 receptions, 77 yards. So he's having a huge year there. So Detroit improves to 8-5. Dallas falls to 6-1. So what does that mean for the playoff scenario? Well, let's quickly go over, starting with the NFC first, and just kind of see where things stand. So currently, and I think this will change tomorrow, the Chicago Bears are the 1 seed in the NFC. If they win tomorrow, they've got a 90% chance of making the playoffs. If they lose, they've got a 66% chance of making the playoffs. Currently at a 73%. So, pretty good shape with a 9-3 record to make the playoffs, which, they really just need to win, 1 or 2 more games to do so. The Rams are the 2 seed. The Rams are the team that scares me the most. Currently, with a 9-3 record, they've got a 96% chance of making the playoffs, 98% if they win, 89% if they lose against Arizona, which isn't going to happen. So, pretty safe to say the Rams are going to the playoffs. Eagles as well, with Dallas losing, they're going to make the playoffs. Currently 96%. If they win, it goes to 99%. They're against the Chargers, who are going to be without Justin Herbert. So it looks very promising to them. Tampa Bay Bucks, 7-5. Haven't really played that great this year. They've played okay. 83% chance of making the playoffs currently. 86 if they win, 72 if they lose. They're up against New Orleans, so I expect it to go to 86. I won't give my predictions away, though. And then it's weird, and I hate seeing this. The 5 seed, the Seattle Seahawks, better record than the Bucks, right? Better record than the fucking Eagles, but they're a 5 seed because of this bullshit thing that the NFL likes to do. Anyways, 9-3, 91% chance to make the playoffs, 96 if they beat Atlanta. Looking good for them. Packers, 89% chance with an 8-3-1 record. If they win tomorrow, though, that puts them to a 95% chance. So, Packers really got the Bears this week. Not sure who they have the week after. Then they got the Bears again. Just beat the Bears twice, is all I'm saying here. Even if the Packers lose, they still have a 75% chance of making the playoffs there. The 49ers, 9-4, 91% chance of making the playoffs currently. They are on a bye, which is so stupid that we're talking, man, week 14 of the fucking season, and we've got teams on byes. Now, there's other teams that are in the mix. I'm only going to go over the Lions, because to me, the Lions, they're the only team over 55, over 50% that's not in the playoffs that I will not leave Roger Goodell alone. The Lions are the only team over 50%. So they're 8-5, 55% chance of making the playoffs. The Panthers are 7-6, 20% chance. I don't think the Panthers are going to make it. I don't think any of you guys do either. The Lions are an extremely good team to have not currently in the playoffs. To me, it just seems like the NFC is a lot better than the AFC. I feel like if you had some of these teams like the Colts over here, they'd get pulverized, absolutely destroyed by like the Lions or the Seahawks or the fucking Rams. Anyways, let's take a look at the AFC. I do like what the Patriots have been doing this year. 99% chance of making the playoffs. It'll be interesting to see how they do as a young team in the playoffs. Not much experience from a lot of their players. We'll see. I don't think they really have what it takes to go all the way, but you never know. Drake May is kind of a special phenom. The Broncos, so they're 11-2. The Patriots are. Broncos are 10-2. The Broncos to me are a really good team. They don't get the game started early. They do need to work on that. Get some things moving early. They can't just be a fourth quarter team. They barely beat the Commanders last week. I will say that. They got a 99% chance of winning or making the playoffs. So they're going to do it. They're 10-2. I'm just not sure how Bo Nix would be in the playoffs if he had to make reads and you needed to rely on him. I'd actually trust Drake May a bit more in that situation. Sage says Pats are good, but the schedule has been very favorable this year. Thanks for pointing that out, Sage. That does help. And they are in the AFC least. That division is bad for them, other than like the Bills. Like that's not a very good division. In third place, you got Jacksonville, who leapfrogged the Indianapolis Colts. They're 8-4, 84% chance of making the playoffs currently. 97% chance if they beat the Colts tomorrow. That is a huge game for the AFC South. So that's actually a game I'll be paying attention to, honestly. We've got another big game coming up here as well. You currently have the Ravens in fourth place. They're going to be up against Pittsburgh tomorrow. They've got a 64% chance of making the playoffs currently. If they win, that does boost it to 78. If they lose, however, falls down to 33%, which is not that good. Chargers in a good spot, 8-4. However, they might be without Justin Herbert, so that could be a problem. 8-4, second in the AFC West. Currently 63% chance of getting in. 77% though if they can beat the Eagles. It's a tall task, but you never know. The Colts, like I said earlier, they're up against Jacksonville. Currently a 71% odds to make the playoffs, 86 though if they win. So again, like I said earlier, big game for them. And finally, to round out the playoffs currently, you've got the Bills, 8-4, 88% chance to make it. If they can beat Cincinnati tomorrow, it goes up to 95%. So we'll see what happens there. Let me just see what Sage is saying before I get to the teams that are on the bubble in the AFC. Sage, you making picks over there? Oh, the wins for the Patriots were against the Dolphins, garbage. The Saints, garbage. Titans, garbage. Browns, mostly garbage. Falcons, mostly garbage. Jets, mostly garbage. Bengals, garbage. And Giants, solid garbage. You're actually right about that. That's a good... that's inflated for sure. So yeah, I think that's a good point for with the playoffs coming up here. And a lot of implications coming up here. So for teams on the bubble, you've got the Texans right now. So Texans are 7-5. They're playing good ball. Their quarterback sucks. They got pretty good pieces on offense. They've got maybe the best defense in football, not named Denver, in my opinion. The Texans are playing ball. Their defense might even be better than Denver's. Their defense is that good. Currently 60% chance of making the playoffs. They're up against Kansas City, so that game does mean a lot. If they beat Kansas City, they're going to go up to an 82% chance of making the playoffs. So obviously a big game there. Kansas City is the 10 seed currently in the AFC. Currently a 34% chance of making the playoffs. Even if they beat the Texans, that would improve them to 7-6. They'd only have a 49% chance. So, not great shape for the Chiefs. Steelers currently only 34%, much like the Chiefs. However, it goes up to 65% if they're able to turn 6-6 into 7-6 after beating the Ravens. So we'll see what happens there. Wouldn't hold my breath. I'm not really. This is the season this week here for the Steelers. They're either going to rally and then they're going to actually, do something, or their season's over. This is it, in my opinion. You have to win this game. You still need to build off it, too. So let's see if they've got what it takes to get the job done there. Sage says, Myles Garrett is getting a minimum of 5 sacks tomorrow. Well, let's get to the games and see who he's going to be up against to get those 5 sacks, and I'll tell you if I agree or disagree. First game of the week that we're going to look at, the Cincinnati Bengals on the road against the Buffalo Bills. This will be Joe Burrow's second game since his injury, his devastating toe injury, which sidelined him for much of the season. I look for Joe Burrow to get a little bit hotter here. I think Joe Burrow is going to throw 6 touchdowns tomorrow. The Bengals aren't just going to cover that +6. They're going to win the son of a bitch. And they're going to propel me to a playoff spot in OJ's Juicery, the Orange Bowl. Let's go, Joe! I don't know if that's actually going to happen. That's my hope. That's my hope. If I was actually betting, I'd probably put money on the Bills to win, Bengals to cover the +6. But we're going Bengals. We're all in on Bengals and Joe Burrow. Next game, I have no idea what to say, what to do. I'm probably going to go the other way here a little bit. So, the Colts are on the road against the Jaguars, favored to win by 1.5 points. I don't know, honestly. This could go either way. The thing is okay, does Jonathan Taylor show up? If the answer is no or somewhat no, the Jaguars will win the game. I do think that. I don't think Daniel Jones is like a great quarterback all of a sudden. I think he's just in a system right now where, okay, if Jonathan Taylor keeps the ball moving, things are good for him. I don't think the Colts should be favored to win this game. They're more of a home team than a road team. I'm certainly going to take Jacksonville to cover the +1.5, and I'm actually going to take Jacksonville to win the game. I think if you slow down Jonathan Taylor, you got the game. That's it. Slow down the run. Easier said than done, but it's not impossible. I mean, it's not impossible at all. Sage says Aubrey has probably kicked Corpse to victory. I think so. I do believe so as well. He put up a lot of fucking points. Now, the Dolphins on the road against the Jets. To me, this is maybe the game gets kept close. I just don't see the Jets winning the game. They could win this game, though. It's the Dolphins. So it's a hard one to pick. Dolphins been playing a little better. The only thing that scares me about the Dolphins a little bit, they can't play in bad weather. So what's the weather in New York going to be like tomorrow? Because if the weather's bad, the Jets will cover the 2.5 point spread and they'll win the game probably. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins to cover -2.5 and be done with it. But the Dolphins are going to get really shitty really soon because they are not a bad weather football team. Saints on the road against the Buccaneers. Bucks need to cover -8.5. I know Chris Godwin is coming back. Give me the Bucks to cover and to win the game. Next game, Steelers and Ravens. 2 disappointing teams this year, in my opinion. Ravens favored to win by 6. I mean, I'd like to see a little bit of fight out of the Steelers. I'll take them to cover the +6, but I think Baltimore's winning this game. I just don't see anything from the Steelers that's really impressive right now. Defensively, offensive line-wise, receiving-wise, I don't think Marquez Valdez-Scantling's going to make a difference. Aaron Rodgers. I don't think anyone on this team has been impressing, to be honest with you. Seahawks on the road against the Falcons. I'll take the Seahawks to win and the Seahawks to cover the 6.5 because the Falcons are just not that good a team. I don't trust them. Interesting game here. Tennessee up against the Cleveland Browns. Browns are favored to win by 3.5. I'm not sure I agree with 3.5. I probably would have went more with 6-7 in favor of Cleveland, but Cleveland's not a very good team. I do think that Cam Ward's career ends tomorrow. I think Myles Garrett puts Cam Ward to the turf and he has to leave in a stretcher after a 5th sack occurs. So Cam Ward, you had a good run, hon, but it looks like the Tennessee Titans are going to be drafting a quarterback first overall for the second year in a row. For the second year in a row, they're going to have to draft a quarterback because I actually don't think he's leaving on a stretcher. I think Cam Ward is leaving in a fucking coffin. I think that's what's going to happen tomorrow. So I don't like Tennessee to cover. I don't really like Cleveland to cover either. Cleveland will win. I'm going to take Cleveland to cover 3.5, even though I don't really trust it at all. I just feel like, man, the defensive line is going to shake things up here a little bit. Interesting game here. You got Commanders on the road against the Vikings. Commanders projected to win by 1.5. You know what? After what they did last week, I will take the Commanders just to straight up win the game. Obviously to cover as well. I don't care if it's J.J. McCarthy. I don't care if it's Brock Osmer, whatever the fuck his name is. The Vikings do have a good defense, though. It's tough. If I was betting money line, I'd put money line on the fucking Vikings. They're due for a fucking win. Denver on the road against the Raiders. Now, we know the Raiders aren't going to win. They don't have home field advantage because they play in Las Vegas and everyone travels to see their team. So, Denver wins. Now, do they cover the 7.5? Probably. The Raiders are pretty fucking bad. I'll take them to cover. I'm not usually like that with the covers. I usually go the other way. Chicago Bears on the road, coming to Lambeau Field. Bring it on, Caleb Williams. We're going to slap that ass around. We're going to slap that ass. We're going to win the game. We're going to cover the touchdown spread. And then we're going to beat you again in 2 weeks, bitches. Rams on the road against the Cardinals. Okay. It's not a very good matchup. Not a very good matchup at all. Rams favored to win by 10. You know what? I'll take the Rams to win the game, but I'll take the Cardinals to cover the plus 10. Houston on the road against the Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 3.5. I'll take Houston to cover the plus 3.5, and I will take Kansas City to win. I just think the quarterback play is going to matter here, and as much as Patrick Mahomes is a fucking douchebag, he's probably going to be able to do better than C.J. Stroud. And finally, we've got the Eagles on the road against the Chargers. I'm going to take Eagles 2.5 to cover and also to win the game, obviously. Even though the Eagles are on the road, they suck. Justin Herbert might not be playing, so that does not bode well. So which games am I most interested in watching if I'm a fan this week? And I am a fan. Well, first and foremost, I think you want to tune in. You want to see the Colts and the Jaguars. Something I don't think I would have told you at the start of the year. This late in the year. It's a notable game. The winner is obviously going to be number one in their division and huge playoff implications. That's the first game I'd be watching. Even though these records are bad, like this is the worst division right now in football potentially. The AFC North, I still think you got to watch the Steelers and Ravens because the winner of that's going to take a division lead and they're going to have a really good chance of making the playoffs. So That's another game I would be watching. Next game's obviously the Bears and the Packers. This is a battle for number one in the NFC. So that's must see TV right there, if you ask me. Um, Bears 9-3. We're 8-3-1. Just bring it on. Bring it on. Now I wish that, and I know you can't flex these games out. It's a 5:25 start if you're in Atlanta, Canada. 4:25 if you live where Sage is at. I wish you could flex this out a little bit. It'd be to me, it would be a more interesting game than Houston and Kansas City. Although Houston and Kansas City is another game I was going to highlight, as there is wild card implications. But like the thing is both these teams don't really have a really great chance of making the playoffs. It's like, yeah, if Houston wins, they've got a good shot. They're 8-5, right? If Kansas City wins, they're 7-6. So I know you can't flex the game. It's a good Sunday night football game. Houston on the road against Kansas City. Obviously, the Packers and Bears, that's going to be a hell of a game. And then I think to a lesser extent, an interesting game is Philly on the road against the Chargers because, it's big implications playoff-wise for both of the teams. So it's for seeding. It's not like a big matchup like the Packers-Bears where it's like, okay, one seed at stake against your division rival. But it's still a good little indirect competition there, in my opinion, because there's obviously huge playoff implications at play there. So those are the games to watch, in my opinion. The only one that really matters, though, is the Bears and the Packers, as well as if you want to watch a man get fucking coffined out of the goddamn stadium, flick on the Tennessee Titans on the road against the Cleveland Browns. All right, that's it for now. We will actually be back tomorrow and the day after. We're going to get back into this routine a little bit. But for now, we're going to call it quits. I'm going to take a fucking piss. I might play a little Balatro. I'm not going to play Arc Raiders. I know that much because that game is fucking dog shit, according to sources that are close to me. So certainly not going to play Arc Raiders. Sage, just a reminder for tomorrow. We do have a Valheim stream at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Why are you telling me to shut the hell up when all I'm doing is educating people? Whatever AI overview says, I'm going to read from the fucking prompter that AI overview gives me. If AI overview says that this game is a fucking turd Ferguson, a piece of shit, mixed in with a little bit of spinach, then that's what I'm going to say about your fucking Arc Raiders game, okay? Fuck your game. Fuck you too. Fucking asshole. The fuck's the matter with you? Grow the fuck up, Peter Pan. Count Chocula. The fuck is... No. AI is driving up the price of PC stuff. We don't want to hear it. Not me. Not Google. We don't want to hear that. You know what? You're getting a fucking bronze wrench for Christmas. You were on the... I was going to get you diamonds interwoven within platinum. Diamonds. Diamonds. Interwoven with platinum in your wrench. And now it's not going to happen. Alright, well, I need to know. Okay, so Sage is saying AI is driving up the price. How is it driving up the price? The RAM you bought was $270 and it's $680 now. How did AI do that, Sage? Please tell me. Please tell me what the fuck you're talking about, man, because you're making me fucking nervous over here. Real fucking nervous, man. You mean you bought a Dodge Ram? So people are making all these AI farms that need DDR5 RAM. What is an AI farm? Also, Jaden Reed's back tomorrow for the Packers. Forgot to go over that. Huge news for the Packers. That helps replace a little bit of the loss in the slot that Tucker Kraft had. So it's like COVID shit happening all over again with PlayStations and GPUs and shit. So companies who do the AI stuff, what the fuck is their problem, man? Why are they doing that to us? You think GPUs eventually as well? That's not good. I'm sorry, Sage. I didn't know. I didn't know this was a touchy subject. I apologize. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have misspoke there. So now there's only two major players left in consumer RAM. GPUs require RAM. Also, Micron has shut down their crucial RAM line for consumers. Oh, that sucks. Well, just let's start our own company and we'll see what happens. Quickly before we go, questionable players for the Packers tomorrow, meaning most likely these players will play. Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, both wide receivers. Gonna be nice to have them. Javon Bullard, need him out of the slot. Nate Hobbs, hopefully making his return. And Brenton Cox, defensive end. So that's good to hear. Not really any surprise. Marshawn Lloyd has been practicing, but not ready to come back yet. A little bit of a piss off that Lucas Finesse is not going to be there. Devontae Wyatt should not be on the report. He's out for the year. Colin Oliver hasn't played all year. Savion Williams is a bit of a miss, a guy that we're going to miss. Playing is going to be Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Quay Walker, Carl Brooks. So relatively healthy. For the Bears, Tyreek Stevenson, cornerback, Rome Adunze, wide receiver, and Ruben, I don't know who Ruben Hippolyte is. They're not going to play. There you go. Bears are probably in better shape injury-wise. We're going to make our own damn RAM. That's what we're going to do. It's our fucking calling. All right, well, let's get the fuck out of here. Go Pack, go, and obviously we're gonna need more RAM over here too. Sage has enlightened us. All right, have a good night, and hopefully the Packers are 9-3-1 when we talk tomorrow. If not, there will be wrenches that are gonna be fucking thrown into the trenches and burned alive.